that Indiana is not moving aggressively forward as an attractive place for jobs, and the record number of jobs coming here tells that story. I've had a great opportunity the last 5 years. I've traveled this state as few people have ever done it. I've been to places that my fellow candidates, in many cases, have never heard of and will never see. No one has to tell me. I've seen face-to-face the very difficult problems we still face. It's very personal to me. But the Indiana these days aims higher, expects more. Number one in the Midwest is not good enough. We have made a good start on the great state we intend to leave to our kids.
And now a closing statement from Ms. Long-Thompson.
I thank the Debate Commission for hosting this debate, and I thank Governor Daniels and Andrew Horning for participating and also for running. I think public service is one of the highest callings. But I'm running for governor because Indiana needs leadership that will take us in a new direction in growing the economy. And when Governor Daniels in his TV ads and here this evening talks about how much better Indiana is doing than other states, I think he needs a reality check. The fact is, we, as I have said repeatedly tonight, we are losing jobs faster than any other state in the union. Hoosiers make 88 cents on the dollar relative to the rest of the country. And as I've traveled this state, and it is a beautiful state with tremendous assets, but as I've traveled this state and I've talked with families that have lost jobs, and I've talked with families that are concerned about how they're going to pay their energy bills this winter, and I talk to families who don't know how they can afford gasoline, and we have a governor who has raised the state sales tax, and that makes gasoline higher in Indiana. It's now on average $4.17 a gallon. We have a governor who is not addressing the real issues of the economy, and my approach is frankly a very new approach, and I think it probably comes from the fact that I was very privileged to study at Indiana University at the Kelley School, where I earned an MBA and a PhD in business. And I know that economic growth and development occurs because you create an economic climate that works. It's not a program. Governor Daniels has created lots of programs, and all you have to do is go on the website of the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, and you'll see program after program that nobody even applies for because the programs don't work. I'm running for governor to reform our tax structure, to bring health and insurance costs down by making pooling a real and viable option, get our high school graduation rate up, and I think the choice is clear. 4 more years of moving backward, losing jobs, or real leadership that will create new jobs and stimulate economic growth for our children and our grandchildren.
And finally, a closing statement from Mr. Horning.
First of all, yeah, I do have my head stuck a couple hundred years ago, but let me tell you why that is. Because every time we think we can move beyond it, we end up going back before Hammurabi. That's why. You know, the thing that we have to understand is that there is nothing new about government getting bigger and bigger and politicians taking more and more control of our lives. That's not new. That's ancient. It just so happens I'm the only guy up here who's made my living in high technology. I've been in the medical electronics industry for like 30 some odd years now, and that's not politics. I've been fighting politics all those years. In fact, I guess I have to say this as a categorical statement, who I am. I live in a little town called Freedom, Indiana. It's one of those places I know you know about, Governor Daniels, and thank you for being down there, and I know you know about it too. But not very many people know what life is like down in the on dirt roads in the political circles. These people have hobnobbed in ways that I never could approach. I've lived like a regular life. I've had bad years. I've had my own business. I'm trying to raise a family on a little farm. We've got a goat. You know, we have some of the same problems everybody else does. But it's not just the goat. You know, goat is a problem, but the biggest problem we have, the biggest problem I have always had is politicians. These guys know where I live and they won't leave me alone. The fact is, you guys who have to pay taxes on your house don't own your house. I've been advocating the elimination of property tax for 10 years. Now people are starting to think that's not such a bad idea. And I've been talking about the Constitution well before it was talked about by people like Ron Paul or others, because it is a very good idea. There is nothing, in fact, better than the constitutions for which generations of Americans have fought and died to protect. This is not an ancient thing. This is a good thing. It is the best thing that human beings have ever done, in fact. This was a nation that proved that liberty works, and that is a precious thing. This is what's on the ballot, guys. It's not about who's got the best wisdom. In fact, I got to say these guys are pretty smart. They have educations that I can't really match in terms of public policy, but what I do know is that it doesn't work.
Thank you. I might point out, Mr. Horning, that there's a lot of Chicago Cub fans in the audience, and they've had issues with goats as well. Mitch Daniels, Jill Long Thompson, and Andy Horning, thank you for your participation in this evening's debate. Ms. Long Thompson, you noted that it's not an easy thing to run for public office, and I think it's important that we all recognize the courage that it takes to step forward into public and make this kind of commitment that each of you has made. Thank you. We remind Hoosier citizens that the deadline for registering to vote is Monday, October 6th, 29 days prior to this year's general election, which will take place on Tuesday, November 4th. The second of 3 gubernatorial debates to be hosted by the Indiana Debate Commission will be held in Jasper, Indiana on Tuesday, September 23rd. Voters will ask questions themselves in a town hall format, a somewhat different format than this debate. A third debate will be held in Bloomington, Indiana on Tuesday, October 14th. I want to take a moment to thank the League of Women Voters for their assistance in this evening's debate. Thank you, folks. And we want to thank the Times of Northwest Indiana and Lakeshore Public Television for their production assistance, and the Star Plaza Theater and Dean White, who made the theater available to the Indiana State Commission. Good night. Thank you.